Not that it's that cold, but too cold for batteries apparently. We're gonna wean him in the feedlot. This trailer is the worst, but it's out of my hands now. Way back. Good morning everyone, what's going on today? As you can see, or might be able to see, I'm just coming out to get the AI lambs. We're going to be weaning them today. About that time, I think, what would they be? They were born on about the 9th of May, wasn't it? Some of you probably remember better than I do. It was around that 5th to the 9th of May. They're about 14 weeks now, 14, 15 weeks old. And after that 12-week period, they're really not getting much from mum at all. So take them home and wean them. I put them in the feedlot for a couple of days and get them eating some grain and get them going that way. I'm thinking I might put them on the Peloton, or at least the rams anyway. So that's what we got on today. It was sunny about an hour ago, but the clouds come back over, but should burn off by the look of it and turn into a nice day hopefully. Maggie, what are you doing, you fool? It's in front of the sheep. So yeah, job on. Brought Linny out with me today just as a bit of a help, because mustering lambs can be, ewes and lambs can be a bit how you going sometimes. Oh, these Dorset lambs will be fine I think, but you'd want you'd want as much help as you can get if you had merino lambs. I know that from experience. Like we got one escapee that's been through the fence. I'll just send the dogs around that one. Here, way back, way back. For anyone who doesn't know what camel poo looks like, that's it. They're in here. Go back, Carly. She's getting there. She just cuts in a little bit early sometimes. That's why I brought Linny out too, because she's a good paddock dog, so help her along a little bit. Steady. Some good lambs in here, which is pleasing to see. We'll run them through we'll draft them off first and then run them through the sheep handler and give them, what will they get? They'll get their 6-in-1 and a drench probably. Maybe, well, hopefully a multi, but I actually got much left, to be honest. Might have to go to town. Yeah, and we'll weigh them and put that on their tag and stuff as a record. Well, that failed. Must have been a bit cold this morning and the battery doesn't want to work. Yeah, so I left the drone on the quad bike last night. Obviously got too cold overnight and doesn't want to start this morning. Not that it's that cold, but too cold for batteries apparently. There's a bit of sun. Sit, sit. Push him up. Let's go have a bit of brekkie and then we'll get into them, I suppose. You can see they've actually done, that's one of my rams actually. They've done pretty nicely. It's obviously our biggest challenge, as I've talked about before, you know, this part of the year, our winter time. Maggie, out, get out. Winter time is our hardest time of the year. We're generally pretty consistent over summer, sort of get, you know, reasonable rainfall and things stay pretty fresh. Whereas, you know, further west, they get pretty hot and dry during the summer and everything dries off. But yeah, winter's our hardest time, so. Cecil, what are you doing, you cat dog? What are you doing? Up here. Yeah, so moving on. Obviously it can be a bit of a struggle, you know, when we lamb end of autumn into the start of winter. It can be pretty hard to carry them through that whole time. So to see them sort of really fresh and healthy and growing well, it's always pleasing, and that comes back to, I've been grazing canola, so that comes back to, you know, getting our crops established early so that we can use them for this purpose over winter for our stud sheep. You know, we've got to lamb that early to try and compete with everyone else, because then that pushes our ram sale back, and then we're at the end of the season and people are sort of have either bought their lambs, and when your ram sale is sort of the end of the season, which ours typically has been until we've started trying to lamb earlier, you know, it just attracts less buyers. And since we have bought it further forward, you know, we have picked up a few new clients, which has been good. Yeah, it's just pleasing to see. Don't know what's happened here. Ring might have broke on that one, because it's actually a crossbred lamb, that's probably why. So let you, a bit woolly, but Comes back to the harsh winter again. They generally, you know, at a series they do have a few of them have a woolly face, and that's typical of this time of year too. They always seem to start out with woolly face as lambs, and then they clean right up when they grow out of it. And anything that doesn't gets cold, because the Dorset you want them clean on their points. Just going to draft them up. Dad's just gone to town to get some multum in, and the Lucerne seed just arrived there to redo that little bit in that Lucerne paddock. So we'll re-sow that after this. Just had a bit of moisture. I don't think I started the video, did I? But we actually had 17 mils over the weekend, which was awesome. I mean, need a lot more, but it's a start anyway. Well, that was harder than it should have been. Sometimes you get frustrated with sheep, and that was one of those moments. Back, Cully. So I said we'll give the lambs a drench and a 6-in-1, and we were going to give them a multum in, but Dad just rang, he's in town, and he said that they don't have any, so we'll just have to do them. We're going to wean them in the feedlot. Should be in by the time they've ordered some, so it should be in by the time these are weaned. They'll be in there for 4 or 5 days probably, so we'll just run them in after they've been weaned and give them a multum in then. Could be interesting to run them through the handler again and weigh them and see what they've done over those 4 or 5 days. Most of them I'm sure would have lost a little bit of weight, I would think. And then the ewes, I'll just get a drench. Would have given them a multum in, but so I'll do them first and get them out of the road and get them away and stop some of this racket. Hey. See. So that's them drenched and needled, the lambs and the ewes. I'm just actually going to go and sow this Lucerne this afternoon, because today's Wednesday. Tomorrow I've got a lifetime ewe management course, and then Friday I'm shearing, so I won't. And Dad's going away tomorrow for a couple of days, so we won't have a chance to do it until Saturday then, and I want to get it in straight away, so while there's moisture there, get it up and out of the ground. So we're going to go do that now. Dad's just going to stay here. Or he's just going to bring the roller down, and then going to come back and get the feedlot sorted up and get their feeds, put them in there and watered and stuff. So I'll leave that with him. Not that it's going to take me long to do this anyway. There's only, I think it's 2.5 hectares, probably not even that. I've never actually measured it. Couldn't be any more than that anyway, so it's not going to take. It's just a matter of doing it. This trailer is the worst to back, so close to the ute. Nice and green. So we only put a bit of diuron and some lamat, which is like an insecticide on this bit, hence why it doesn't look. But yeah, 15 mils or 17 mils that we got, it'll take off now. Here's the bit where we're sowing. I'll put the diuron on that too. I think I have to put one more restrictor in that. I do. Well, I just had to duck home because someone forgot the seed, or one bag of seed. I bought half a bag, but not both bags. We had to get some new stuff, and then there was a little bit left over from when we initially sowed it. So I'll just mix that in too. To use it up. Yes, that was my bad. Rightio, we'll see how our depth is. Slowly getting through it, it's coming up pretty nicely. There's ample amount of moisture there. I'm not putting it in very deep. You can see the odd seed on top, but that's all right because I definitely don't want to go too deep. It's still soil temp's still pretty cold, so we don't want to bury it and then kill it. I'm pretty happy with how it's going. I knew what I was doing a bit better this time as opposed to when we did the rest of it. Just in terms of preparation and getting it as even as I could, because I notice when I'm mowing this, it's just not quite, it's not perfect. I mean, I suppose I'm being a bit picky, but I do get a bit like that. There's nothing wrong with that, I suppose. It's just, yeah, it's just not quite perfect. And you know, we're just using what we've got, which is obviously not the best tools, but it gets the job done. I am happy with how this one's come up. Just spent a bit more time on it, but it's also only 2.5 hectares as opposed to 10, so didn't take long at all. So we'll get this finished off. I just come and got a little bit more seed. There'd be under a hectare left to do, so I haven't been going to put the drone up because I'm just trying to think about too much, trying to manage seed and keep it straight. Job done. There was 2 wombat holes in the actual Lucerne. I just went and scratched with the 4-in-1 bucket and then just ran over them with the seeder. Oh, I need to let that down. Just to fix them up so I don't have to go around them when I'm mowing because it's a pain in the neck. It's out of my hands now. It's all up to the weather. It's still cold. It is meant to be a bit of a colder week this week. I think the top's meant to be sort of get to 15, but next week it sort of looks like it's going to get up to 18, 19 again, which will be good. Should get it out of the ground at least anyway. What is that? How about that? I must have left that here. Well, I don't actually know how that would have got there. It fell out of the tractor or something from not spraying. Anyway, lucky I found that. So we would have liked to put a bit more Lucerne in this year. There was a couple of paddocks that could have gone into it, but just with the rest of the season that they're talking, getting a bit dry, you really don't want Lucerne in its first year to have to go, well, any crop really, to go through that. We decided not to do it, which is all right. Hopefully we'll get the 2.5 hectares back here, which will be good. Get a few more bales. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that video. Bit of sheep work this morning, a bit of tractor work this afternoon, so best of both worlds. But yeah, I'll be sure to keep you posted on how the Lucerne emerges and comes out of the ground. But yeah, with 17 mils on it over the weekend and going straight into moisture and a bit of warm weather early next week, it'll yeah, it shouldn't take too long at all. Hope you enjoyed it, and with that, we'll catch you in the next one. Alrighty, see ya, bye.